Welcome. This is A Vision Media Broadcast once again. This is your host, Tommy Slaughter. This is A Vision Media Broadcast. We have a special guest. This man is a legend. He was in the movie House Party 1 and 2, Boomerang, What's Love Got to Do with It, Tina Turner. He was a broker, a banker, LPN. He wear a lot of hats, man. This man is Gene Allen, aka Groove from House Party. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Mr. Tommy? How you feeling, baby?
I'm good, man. It's a pleasure that you came onto the show because I always wanted to interview you and talk to you, man. Ever since
it's my pleasure, bro. It really is. My pleasure, for real.
Well, that's great, man, because I'm gonna try to let this be worldwide, you know what I mean, so the world can see what's going on. And hear your story of back in the hip hop days, and you're still doing your thing now, but people want to hear about the backstory about what really happened, Yeah. So first, can you let us know, man, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Long Island, New York. Born, raised Brentwood, all my life and whatnot, and that kind of was the groundbreaker area for me in terms of hip hop and music. Long Island, we call it Strong Island. It's a collective of so many different talents, from Biz Markie, R.I.P., my man Biz, K Solo, EPMD, Rock Squad, Ruby Chill, my group, Leaders of the New School, Busta Rhymes.
What about Public Enemy? Was they from PE?
Yeah.
PE. Mm-hmm.
They were all, Rakim. We were all from the same area, Brentwood, Wyandanch, Nassau County, Suffolk County. So it was a breeding ground for, hip hop talent.
Yeah. A lot of MCs came from Strong Island, which is Long Island,
Yes.
So what have you been up to, man, over the years?
It's been a collective, man. When we first started this journey, I'll go back. I got my first introduction to hip hop from a friend of mine, moved from the Bronx. Okay. His name was Daryl, and he moved out to Long Island. I don't know, he was maybe about 12, 13 years old, and he had these mixtapes, and it was of Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, Treacherous 3, Funky 4 plus one more, Cool Herc, Disco Twins, Cold Crush Brothers, just all the collectives, all the legends. And I remember listening to beats, and Flash was on the beat box going. I fell in love. Then listen to this, just listen to this.
Just from that moment,
patient of the MCs, and I was blown. I was like, what is that? So we rap, and I literally, and I remember this one stood out. It was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm the JECKYLL, from the top of World Trade to the depths of hell, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And through the years, through a lot of those years in junior high and high school, I wrote rhymes and I wanted to rhyme, and it culminated into we used to hang out with Africa Bambaataa, King of the Crates. We would go to the T Connection in the Bronx and hang out and see Jazzy J and DJ Red Alert and all the other greats. And so you're being hit with this as you're growing up, and you want to emulate that. That's what I wanted to do. Right. So we built. You have a dream, and if you don't put movement on that dream, man, it doesn't go anywhere. And I was fortunate. My parents said, whatever you want to believe in, do what you need to do to get there.
Yeah, it seems like everybody from even here, everyone from Philly, even really from New York, like all boroughs, the Bronx, Brooklyn. Was it like a thing where everybody wanted to get into hip hop to get away from that environment, or it was just like it was born in all of you to just get into it because you love to party and you love to see the DJs? Like what was it about hip hop and the environment you live in that allowed you to really want to get into it? Like, was it for an escape, like to get away?
For me, it was really based upon, there was R&B and, I call my parents' music. And this music spoke to me. It spoke to me rhythmically. It spoke to me creatively. It spoke to me differently, and you could paint a picture and tell a story through rhyme syncopation that really it changed the world. Hip hop changed the world. It's 50 years going strong, and as a young kid, you try to figure out what you want to do. I played some football, but I wasn't the greatest. I was a percussionist, so I played drums, and I was okay. But when it came to rhyming, I knew I had something.
It was that niche right there. There you go.
Exactly. Now, a lot of my friends, they did it because they wanted to, I guess, kind of escape, from whatever they were dealing with, whether you were in the suburbs or the projects. But I think the real case scenario is that this spoke to young people like myself and people that came after me, etc., to how you wanted to show yourself to the world.
Yeah, it was a love. It was a love for it. It was a love for the craft.
It had definitely, and I'm telling you, it's funny though, because at the time it wasn't about money. Who got no money? You wanted to go to that park. I remember going to parks, man, and take it out. You try to take a couple MCs out, whatever the case may be, but you might not have taken them out, but they knew like you had some bite to you.
Yeah, they knew it.
That was the strength, man. That was like our way of saying. It was my way of saying, I might not hit that line like you want me to in football. I might not hit that beat on that with that drumstick, but I gets busy and I got the crowd with me.
That's right. That's dope, man. That's dope. And that kind of that was like your biggest influence, man. When hip hop came, that's what you wanted to get into. Watching Africa Bambaataa and Cold Crush.
Crazy.
That was it right there.
Crazy. Right? And the funny thing was, and so. I'm through our conversation, man. I'm going to talk about my journey, but also about like the God's path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
20 years later, the man that I remember the rhyme, Dr. Jekyll, signed me to Uptown Records. 20 years later, Dr. Jekyll, Andre Harrell, he signed us, Ruby Chill, to Uptown. At that time, it was Uptown MCA, but Uptown Records. We were the last group to be signed. It was Heavy D and the Boyz, Finesse Synquis.
Heavy D, right?
Woody Rock, yep. Heavy D and the Boyz, Synquis, Marley Marl, Woody Rock, Brothers Black, Groupie Chill. The last ones. Literally, like the date, like he was going to close it out like the next day. And we went on, we was working with this man. I call him the boy genius, Nate Tinsley. He was like, I don't know, 13, 14, but he had all the studio in his grandma's basement. So we made this demo called Why Me? Kind of antic-y, comedic kind of scenario, but we were rhyming, and he got a call. He called us and said, hey, Andre wants to meet you guys. He heard your demo. He wants to meet you. So we rode all the way to Queens. We had like 40 minutes to get there, and it was like an hour ride, but we sped and got there.
You made it. Yeah, you made it.
Literally, we're in this little room. We're dancing these dance steps and doing our song. Andre's like 5 inches from us. It's so tight, but we got down. We got busy, and he signed us on the spot, man. It was a blessing.
Wow. So back then, when you're getting signed around that time, it wasn't no big thing, basically, as far as like the money, but it was the fact that both of you had your foot in the door. So it was on from there.
It was the love of the music. It was the love of the art, man. I remember, you dressed, hip hop is a culture. You know what I'm saying? So, in my day, we had the Lees, the bell bottom Lees, the mock necks, the Kangos. The sneakers. We had to be crisp, and that's how we displayed it. There was a spot in Queens, in Jamaica, Queens, called Shirt King Coliseum, and they had this spot called the Shirt King. Shout out to Shirt Kings, and they would do your shirts all kind of graffiti style. So
graffiti style, okay.
They got busy. That's legendary. I know they're in the museum, hip hop museum, because they did everybody, and it was about that art, that flow, how you styled, how you rhymed. What you talked about. It was the life that I loved. Still do.
Wow. Just something real quick. If you can go back in time and pick a year, what year would you pick?
Good question. man.
Because hip hop, man, goes a long way, man. I'm telling you.
You know what? I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say in when I was in high school. You
But
know,
high
this
school,
is
okay.
yeah. The couple, you know, my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, because there's certain people that have come into your life. You know, like Daryl once was instrumental into me getting into hip
Okay.
hop.
Okay.
James Smith, Smitty D. He is Harris Smith, P. MD of EPMD's brother. So we all lived in the same area.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And Smitty would, you know, Smitty would pick me up and we would go to the Bronx and hang out with Africa and them. And that seeing that whole, you know, that whole culture and how it was in their environment of where it was brought up, you know, Cool Herc would walk in, you know, those and then we would get home like 3, 4, 5 in the morning and then go to White Castle. You know, if you know anything about White Castle.
Yeah,
You know
yeah, we got him here. So
yeah,
we talking about we talking about high school days. Yeah, White
that was
Castle.
kind of like the life, man. You know, doing those things and learning and taking it all in. It
Yeah.
just really made a difference. And Smitty D was the first one to introduce me to wanting to do a record.
Smitty D. Okay.
Like I said, instrumental. We signed a Tommy Boy.
Okay.
It was called the Rock Squad. And it was myself, Smitty D, Jerry J, and at the time, Kevin Madison, K Solo.
K Solo. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's all connected. It's all connected. And you know what unfortunately, Kevin knew that he was the best. He was good. Kevin was dope. His way, his syncopation, his presentation, his ability to do the things he do. Even back then, not as good as he does now, but even back then, you knew he could rock, and he knew it. So it went to his head, and it was like, "Yo, we got to practice." I miss practice and whatnot. So he ended up not being in the group anymore.
Wow.
So it's the three of us. There was Parrish on our cover, Rock Squad. You'll see Parrish, PMD of EPMD, on the cover as our DJ. But I learned that sometimes if you don't own what you do, it becomes someone else's project. So these brothers, these producers, by the time they finished the record, what we started, because at that time everybody was trying to sound like very messagey kind of records, Furious 5, everywhere.
That's right.
But by the time we finished the song and the production, it sounded like a disco record, you know. It was crazy. But you know, we did a record. It sold, 2 copies. You know, I bought one. My mom bought one.
You said 2 copies, huh?
Yeah. But that's how I got the record bug.
Yeah.
Smitty D, just saying, let's do a record.
So Smitty D kind of put you on.
Yeah, true, because he knew Africa Bambaataa, and Bambaataa Soul Sonic Force. Mr. Biggs, Pow Wow, MC Globe, they were our friends. They were our friends. They actually, our high school graduation, the Mighty Zulu Nation did our block party. Crazy.
Wow. So it sounded like, man, you had a very interesting, background. And I know you have more stories to tell. You just give me little pieces, But I know it was dope. I know it was dope back then. Man.
It was a lot. It's a lot, man. Sometimes I don't think on these moments until I kind of reflect and have these interviews like this. But there's been so many instrumental people in my life that helped me to where I'm at now, man. I got to give them shout outs and kudos.
Yeah, well, that's dope, man. You got to give them shout outs, because these are the people that kind of invited you into the game. They let you see what was going on. With Groove Be Chill, for the viewers, Groove Be Chill was the group's name, correct?
Yep.
Okay. How did you? Go ahead. What you want to say?
So no, you're right. That was our name. Groove. There was B and there was Chill.
Chill. How did you guys come together? Like how did the whole thing happen?
I think so. So, Rock Squad, we made a record, and then Smitty went on to work with law enforcement. And so I said, okay, Jerry, me and you are going to do this record. And one day I was in the park, Wyandanch Park. Wyandanch Park is one of the main parks that, every year they have the Wyandanch Day, and all MCs from all over the world just comes, Wyandanch Day, Amityville Day, and we come and we show our wares, so to speak. So I was out there, me and my guy that I was supposed to be rapping with, he was a duo. He ended up, being incarcerated.
Okay.
So I ended up going by myself that night, and I remember seeing this kid, and it was Belal Miller, DJ Belal, and be successful, and his scratching, his cuts, it was sick. It was like the best, you know. And I'm talking about, I've seen Jazzy J, I've seen him get.
That's right.
This kid got busy.
But this kid was busy.
Oh my God, he was crazy. He still is. So, and I remember that night we was in the park, and he was rocking, and him and Daryl Mitchell, Chill, they were you know, they were friends, and they would rock together. And I remember that night, and I remember seeing this kid with a hat. He had a black hat like one you can see, but he had coins.
Yeah.
Who's the kid with the coins? I'm like, you know, I'm like, who are you? And he was rocking, and even though, like, as an MC, you got to know your playground. You got to know where you know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yeah.
So I knew I was by myself. This kid had the crowd, so I wasn't gonna go up there because I want to. They was like, "Yo, let's groove rock." I wasn't gonna go up there and like try to battle my dude because this is his crowd. He lives there.
Right. That's right.
But I definitely showed my presence, and we ended up kind of rocking together.
Okay.
So going forward, you know, me, Belal Miller, Be Successful, and Jerry J was going to do this record. I don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to do this record. Jerry decided to go to the Navy.
Wow.
So now it's like, well, it's just me and the DJ. And you know, I wasn't really into that solo scenario because I always wanted a group. Because that's what I seen, that's what I was connected to. So I remember Belal bringing up the fact, well, hey, you know, Daryl, you know, he might want to, you know. So I said, you know what, good kid, got skills, talk to him. And so we ended up collecting, getting together, and we were first supposed to be the Rock Squad. Ended up coming and doing another record and had the name because it was his name, you know. So we ended up coming up with, you know, I was Groovy Groove, was Chili Dog, you know, Be Successful. We just kind of put the words and changed it, you know, Chili Groove, Be Chill Groove, Groove to the Chill. Finally Groove Be Chill.
So y'all came with the name Groove Be Chill. Wow. So that's how you and Chill got together for that from that moment right there.
My brothers. I mean, we like lived and walked and did in the streets like for 3-4 years before it was signed. Chill, I remember, you know, Chill is Joe Frazier's R.I.P. Joe Frazier, the boxer. Their family. So we would come to Philly. We would come to Joe's gym.
On Broad Street, Broad and Glenwood, right? That was the old gym. Was that? Yeah.
Philly Steaks on Fleek.
That's right. Y'all went to Max's up Erie probably to get them steaks.
Yeah, exactly. So we would go. It would be me, it'd be Groovy Chill, it'd be Biz, it'd be Big Daddy Kane. We would all like load up the truck and go out there and go back and forth. And you know, so we were like family. This is how we built and did what we did. So when it came to actually, you know, signing that blessing, we knew that we had to take advantage of this because now, you know, this is high end. You know, Andre Harrell wasn't playing. He was like, if you know the story of Andre Harrell, he was an artist at Def Jam or Rush, and then switched to being like A&R and vice president over with Russell. So he kind of knew the business. He did this.
That's right.
So he did his own thing, brought some of his people over, and built this iconic label, Uptown Records.
That's right. Yeah, I know Andre Harrell. He did a lot of things, man. He did for hip hop. He did.
And my guys did a show yesterday out there with Fat Man Scoop. And Lady B.
I saw Lady B out there. I did see it.
And Lady B like loved Uptown, loved Andre. You know, so it's just interesting how, you know, 20, 30 years later, you know, the people that, you know, because Lady B actually really helped break Andre and Uptown Records in the Philly area. So, you know, shout out to Lady B for real.
Yeah, Lady B did a lot, man. She did a lot for hip hop. I mean, for years. You know.
Yeah, she is true hip hop soldier.
Yeah, shout out to Lady B. Yep. So, you and Chill, you know, Chill is legend, Groove legend. You go to Uptown Records, and you drop some music for Andre Harrell, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But the music didn't move like you guys thought. Nah. So how was that, you know, dropping the music and it didn't move, no units? So were you guys kind of discouraged and just wanted to quit, or you waited for the opportunity, like I'm getting ready to talk about. Like,
Discouragement is the word, man. Discouragement, So let me and this is hindsight, as I'm older now, mature now. We got signed, and it took a while for us to have our own album. Heavy D was out there, he was doing his thing, and finally Andre ended up bringing us to his man, Alonzo Brown, Mr. Hyde, his boy. Okay. Alonzo Brown was now A&R for A&M Records, and that was with Janet Jackson, Herb Alpert, but Janet Jackson was the thing. That was like, Rhythm Nation shut down.
Right, yeah, shut down.
So they had money, but they didn't know hip hop. So they wanted hip hop. So we went to them. We finally got a record deal. It was like about $250,000. And at that time,
that was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, "Yo, y'all got some dough."
That's right.
But nobody. We felt we were going to the studio. Chungking Studio is like one of the biggest studios out in Manhattan. And we would go to the studio on a regular basis, week after week after week, putting records together and whatnot. Nobody from the office came down, checked. Nobody kind of like guided us. Yeah. So we started getting a little bitter about, not bitter, but definitely like, wow, nobody's finding put this together because we don't really know. We think we know.
But you don't know. You're frustrated now.
We don't know. So I remember we went, let Andre hear some of the things that we had produced on our own. And I think we might have did two or three records with Pete Rock and Prince Paul from De La Soul.
What year was this, if you don't mind me? What year was that you did these songs?
88, 89, like 88, wow. 89.
Did a song with Pete Rock and
with Pete Rock,
Prince Paul.
And Prince Paul, yeah. Prince Paul did 2 records. Pete Rock did 1 record, and and it's interesting because I'll talk about that too.
Yeah,
Pete, that was our dude, that was our man. We on the same, on the same block as he's rocking with Heavy and them and DJ Eddie F. But Prince Paul cost us he charges either $20,000 or $25,000 a record.
A record.
So 2 records, we already blown $50,000.
Wow.
And that's something that as a businessman, I wouldn't have done that now. I would have kind of walked it some things.
Yeah.
Or made sure that those songs were to the point where it had been out there on the first, second, third single. You don't want to waste that money. It's just sitting on the cut.
Right.
So we let Andre hear. He said, "I want y'all to meet somebody. I got a new A&R guy." I said, "Okay, let's go." So we went up to Uptown, and gentleman's name was Sean Combs.
Puffy.
Yeah. Puffy. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to think 4, 5, 6 months of us going back and forth, studio, leaving the crack of dawn, 6 in the morning. We tired, nobody caring, nobody feeling.
Yeah.
So Puffy listens to the songs. And Puffy was real honest. He said, "You know what? Because Uptown didn't really know how to manage us. They didn't really know how to where to put us in terms of marketing.
Okay, marketing.
Because we were funny, we were quick, we were rhymes, but we wasn't talking political. It was more like
it was just hip hop. You just doing your thing. You're doing your own thing.
Exactly. So Puffy said, Puffy said that I want to start from scratch. And see what we can work on together. So we said, okay, no problem. We left that office and we were heated. Now we're heated. Yeah. And I remember my man Belal saying, "Man, forget that. We're gonna do what we gotta do."
Wow.
Now, hindsight, and even to today, and I tell a lot of artists that I talk to, critique someone that's critiquing you is not a bad thing. Because even great artists, if somebody says, like my friend Fat Man Scoop, he had somebody email him and said, "Let me know when you come back to Ontario because you do the same song and I want to see something different, blah, blah." Yeah. And he said, "You know what? I'm going to listen to him and I'm going to email him and we're going to discuss it because he doesn't know, when you do a show, it can't be different every day because that's
right.
But he took that criticism and said, I'm going to take it in and try to build from that. And that's what we should have did versus saying, nah, we're going to do our own thing.
Yeah. You got a little mad. You got an attitude.
5 years later, Puffy's doing billions and we sitting on the corner back at home.
Wow.
So we go home, we're depressed. The song is kind of out, nobody's really pushing it. We don't have. It seemed like our manager, is absent. Nothing. We did maybe 2, 3, 4 shows on the road.
Yeah.
And we did these videos called Uptown's Kickin It was the first lead off of the album. Uptown's Kickin It.
I saw it.
And there was Mr. Big Stuff. And the 2 people that did it was the Hudson Brothers.
Yeah, I heard about them.
And they were, honestly, they were our godsend.
Okay.
Our call, we were supposed to be in Queens like early that morning to do Mr. Big Stuff. And let's say it's supposed to be at 7. We got there at 5. We was about our business.
To be in the video, basically.
Yeah, to be in the video. Was all the crew was going to be in the video, little cameos, whatnot.
Yeah.
So we got there and, got there early and Helen was like, wow, you guys are early. He's like, yeah, man, that's what we do. We got to know them and talk to them. And at the end of the video shoot, everybody left and we were still there. We said, hey, do you need some help putting these tables up? Because they didn't have much of a budget either. Yeah. And I spoke to Wardington about a couple of months ago, and he said, Groove, you don't even know, that stood out so much in terms of your work ethic, but more about your compassion and your humanity. Right. Because he said, we're going to help you. We helped them pack stuff up, and we didn't have to.
That's right. So
they was telling us about this idea they had, this treatment for this movie. And it was about DJs, parties, MCs, parties, house parties. And for 2 years, we went back and forth to Manhattan talking about antics that we did, falling at the door, being late to the party, somebody always messing up the toilet bowl, dancing, slow music, all of that. And then, we was also taking, we doing acting lessons, improv lessons, guided by the Hudson Brothers. And we came back. Maybe 2 years later, we were mad and we cursing and what happened to the Hudson Brothers?
Yeah, because y'all didn't see him again. Y'all didn't hear from him again, right? For a couple of weeks.
Yeah. They gave us a call and said, hey, we've got this movie deal. At that time it was with Disney. He said, we want you to audition for this movie called House Party.
Let me back up. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me back up just a little bit.
Okay.
You said. Basically, you guys had the audition, right? Now, was the movie House Party really based on you and Chill's life? You, Chill's, and B life, right?
I wouldn't say life, but definitely a lot of the things that we put in it.
Yeah.
Of course, they didn't know these guys are from Harvard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Belal actually, you're going to find, Belal when Kid and Martin. And if you remember, Lawrence's his name was Belal.
Belal, that's right, Belal. Yeah.
The DJ, my man.
That's right.
Belal be successful. And he had a party where his friend came late and then just threw his stuff in the back and scratched it, and he bugged out. Like, what are you doing? Like, you don't mess with DJ. When you're trying to make ends.
So that really happened.
Yeah. That really happened.
Okay, that really happened.
You understand? Many parties. Old English. That was our drink. Old English.
I see you drinking.
That was the drink. Make show Diesel. That was the drink.
Now, were you really drinking, or just had water in it?
That was water, man. That was water.
Okay.
I said, "Oh, please don't pour it down the drain."
But it showed the OE logo.
Yeah. They did. That was on New Line Cinema. Hey. I just act. I'm not toy.
Yeah, okay. You just act. That's where it at.
So we go down. So they send us the slot. They send us the scripts, and my part was literally play, groove, and Chill's part was literally Kid. Okay. So now you're talking about guys that we're brothers, 4 or 5. We improv. We'll be on trains coming back from the city, and we'll throw things in terms of topics to bug out on. So when we go down to Disney, we know we're gonna smash it. First, we studied our lines. More importantly, when they asked the improv, killed it. The whole house was laughing. You guys, we love you. You're funny. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a hit record.
So that was the one that caused you guys not to go forward. All because you didn't have that big name and a hit record.
Boom, boom. And the good thing is, and everything happens for a reason. The running joke is that Kid and Play Groovy Chill made 5,000. Kid and Play made 5 million, but we're not bitter.
Wow, 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 wow.
But the Cullen brothers allowed us to get into this movie and really, take the roles that we did and really make them work and to be iconic now, to the point where I still get, oh, you the drunk man, you the fun that part, you was
yeah. You still get that, huh?
Yeah, even to the day.
I don't understand the fact that you guys came up with this basically with the story. You came up with the story. How did they
had the story? Cullen brothers had the story. We just gave them the real good meats, the real, we helped cook that dinner, and we gave them some great side dishes, some main courses, because the real case scenario was the house party element. Yeah. It's really about the dance battles, the rap battles. Somebody's always drunk. Somebody always want to fight. Full force, my brothers, love them to death.
Yeah, that's right.
House party police.
Yeah, it was. Look, House Party is a classic. It's a historic movie, man, that everybody loved, and it was mainly African Americans that made it dope. I'm telling you. How did they call Kid and Play for those roles? How did that happen?
Well, they really after they switched from Disney to the New Line. New Line said we want some actors that are really fit with the music, and I want to say for a minute they were thinking about trying to get Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff.
Oh, it's gonna be okay.
They were getting ready to do their TV thing, so that didn't really. So they didn't really have conversation and negotiation, but they were like, nah, we doing this, and so they remember. Kid and Play was like just all over the video, all over the place. They antics, the personalities, the music, everybody loving it. Kid friendly, they adult friendly, and they did their thing. Hats off. They did their thing. They
did. It worked. Everything worked. Mm-hmm.
It did. I have to say, they took those roles and just made it theirs. And for a long time, nobody knew that we were supposed to be the lead characters.
Yeah, the lead characters. Yeah.
And I was in Atlanta maybe 10, 15 years ago, and Play made that comment. We was on stage together. He said, "This man right here is the reason why." Blah blah blah. And Kid did a interview in Paris with Talib Kweli,
and he said the same thing.
Groovy Chill was the ones that really had these roles at first.
Wow, so that's dope. They acknowledge y'all. That's dope.
That's
dope, man. And from there,
5 million.
Well, look, but how about like is it royalties or the whatever kind of check that you get?
Well, I still get paid from it. I get paid from all the movies I've done. House Party 1, House Party 2. What's Love got to do with it? I still get checked.
You still get checked.
Yeah, not as big as they used to be, but hey, gas is expensive.
Oh yeah, we know how to go, but you still get it. You still get them. How did that? Now I'm gonna go back just a little bit.
Okay.
The song Hip Hop Music. How did that song come out, and who did that track to that beat?
That was one of the productions that B did.
B did it.
We love the Impeach the President, and I don't know. We just wanted to pay homage to what we know to be hip hop music. It ain't nothing like. And Stetson Sonic had this part. It ain't nothing like hip hop music. Yeah. And it just stood out. It was that voice, the vocal on it, and B's family is like, his father was really versed in old rhythm and blues. Like, they would know BB King and what stuff like that. And,
that was
and that just we just kind of felt it. And then, and, here's the move. Check it. Leave it up to Groovy Chill. Don't wreck it. That was, it just made sense. And we really talked about, and at that time, if you remember, they tried to change the genre, and it's not hip hop. They tried to. It was crazy the way black radio was treating hip hop.
Yeah,
like a stepchild, like a stepson.
Yeah, at a time they tried that. They tried it.
Oh my God, it was crazy. It was crazy. Me rappers selling. We've been sold. We overcame what you just wasn't told. Rap has always been selling. and it had to be, because if you got people doing CD fire burnings, based upon political ideology, it's doing something.
It's doing something. Yeah. Hip hop goes along 50 years, plus more. It's when I watched 50 years and it keeps going. I don't think it's going to stop no time soon.
No, never.
When I watched BET, when they did the 50 years of hip hop, I didn't see Groove be. Well, I'm sorry to say that, because before I even talk about that, how is Chill doing now? How was he?
Chill is good, man. Chill, that's my man. He's doing good, man. I have to admit, he is his tenacity, his persistence, in terms of the things that he's had to dealt with over the years. It just shows in his artwork and in his creativity, and I feel that there's things that happen for a reason. We don't know, but I know. Right. Whatever did, God said, that's okay, because I got you, because he's been acting. And I'm going to tell you like this. And if you watch TV and movies, there's only a handful of black actors that you see consistently. There's nobody that's African-American that's in a wheelchair
and still working.
Consistent. And good at what he does.
That's right.
My man was doing 2 shows at the same time. And I'm not talking, little cable. He was doing NCIS and Fear the Walking.
That's right. Yeah,
so, that's my man. Hats off to Daryl C. Mitchell.
Shout out to Daryl C. Mitchell, Chill. And the reason why I brought that up is because the 50 years of hip hop they did on BET, I just didn't understand why they didn't acknowledge Groove B. Chill, at least to bring y'all out, to say these guys was a big part of hip hop also. How did you feel about that not being at the BET 50 years of hip hop?
When I was a little younger, you always like, yo, what about me? But you realize that there are moments that you'll be able to share with others, and there's moments that you can't. What I do know, and because of technology and where we are with the music business and the music world, I don't wait for anyone to acknowledge me. I acknowledge myself.
That's right.
You're acknowledging me now, and I'm gonna take what we do tonight, and I'm gonna let the world see. So, do I want to be on that grand stage? We all do, But I think there's a time and a place, and I know for a fact in the future, with my groups that I'm working with now, my guys. I tell them our goal is to be on that BET stage. Period. Right. Hands down. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
And it will happen, man. It will. You just keep telling yourself, it's going to happen, and it will. And well, wow, shout out to Chill, man. Yourself, brother. And back to let's say any movie. You've been in Boomerang, you've been in What's Love Got to Do with It. How did you get those phone calls, man, to get into those movies like that? Those classic movies.
The Boomerang was the Hudlin brothers. They gave us the call. So me and Chill, we were shooting in New York, and I think that was one of those starstruck moments, because he had me and Chill actually going back and forth with Eddie Murphy on the street corner. And we were vendors selling watches and gold and whatnot. Yeah. We were going snapping on each other. And of course, Eddie Murphy won because he's Eddie Murphy. He's good at it.
Of course.
But just being able to say like, yo, I interacted. I had that moment. I had that scene with Eddie Murphy. Now it ended up on the cutting floor, but hey, it's okay. I still have a hip here.
That's right.
What's Love Got to Do with it? I actually moved to Los Angeles. I was staying with some friends. Shout out to Peter Work. Shout out to Nitro. That's how I got into voice acting. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, voiceover.
I was trying to get back into acting on my own, and Eileen Knight, very talented talent agent out there in LA, African American. I was doing the rounds and making calls and trying to connect, and she had me audition. She sent me an audition with Reuben Cannon, and it was interesting because Reuben Cannon, I always seen this name before, on TV, on big TV shows. Yeah. And I never knew he was an African American man. Okay. And literally, I went in, I auditioned, and I had the role for one of the band members,
Okay.
but I wasn't tall enough.
Oh,
So they made me like the owner of the club
of the
that
club. Yeah.
Tina and I met. And and I remember that day of shooting, I'm in the trailer with Lawrence Fishburne and Angela Bassett, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And I'm asking them questions like, you've been in this business for so long, and
Yeah.
what have you learned, and just listening to their stories. And it was an incredible experience. And then a month ago, Tina Turner dies and passes. Rest in peace.
Wow. Yeah. Rest in peace.
So
Yeah.
for me to be a part of that history, those are those moments, that I can say, and people say that, hey, I was part of that, and that's an iconic movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's big. It's
To
big.
me, sometimes it's not about being on that stage. Sometimes it's just knowing that whatever you did for whatever else to move forward and for let people see, because that movie, Angela Bassett killed it, Lawrence Fishburne killed it, and
Yes, they did.
it told her story to a T. So my hat's off.
At that time, filming What's Love got to do with it. Got to do with it. Was Tina Turner like on the trailer, or did you see her
Yeah,
around?
she would come to the set. She would come to a lot of the sets, shootings and whatnot.
Okay. Okay.
On occasion, now I wasn't, those, because my shooting was like maybe 2-3 days tops.
Okay.
But yeah, she was very implemented and integral to Angela Bassett's portrayal and characterization.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's dope, man. What's your fondest memory or moment while filming? And that could be any movie.
Mm.
I know.
I don't know if it was filming. I remember. So Q was on this TV show on Fox, Brothers, with Michael Strahan, Carl Weathers, and Carl Weathers has always been my kind of like, wow, from Apollo Creed and Rocky.
Yeah.
And there was a line that he said in the on Rocky 2 when he was trying to change him up to get ready for a rematch with Clubber Lang, Mr. T.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's wrong, Rock? What's wrong? Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And he said, there is no tomorrow. And that always rang like that bell, like there is no tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. So when I'm on the set of Brothers, I'm sitting there in the dressing room, and Carl comes in, and we're meeting him, shaking him, and we're talking. And he loves this wine. He talks about these wine stories and him in Italy and whatnot. And I asked him, I said, tell me about that line you said about there is no tomorrow. And he kept on telling how, he's been in this business a long time, and people don't realize that.
Yeah.
And there was moments when he had to tell himself there is no tomorrow. So when they fed him that line, he was good. He was in it, because it came across like so crazy. So those are some of the memories I remember. And the last remember we're still in LA. My man is me, my man Corey Crash. We're all out there, we're chilling. Chill's got this little condo, 5-bedroom condo, Pacific Ocean. So like when you open the window, you hear the sea, you hear the water and the waves. And we're on the rooftop, and we sipping champagne, whatever. And he says, I said, I want to come back. I want to go back here. And he says, well, you got to have a purpose. And we call it GAP, G-H-A-P, got to have a purpose. And that term was so integral of where I'm at today. That term.
GAP, got to have a purpose.
Got to have a purpose. Because I realized, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you said because you realize, go ahead.
Many years later, and we'll talk about what this kind of transitioned into what I'm doing now. But many years later, because I went home, looking for a purpose. Where has my purpose gone? And I realized 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I am the purpose. The purpose is already inside me.
That's right.
And that's the difference. That's when I realized that changed my whole life plan. Like I've done a lot of things, but in terms of my journey now, how I connect with people, how people connect with me, I started with I am the purpose, and now it's we are the purpose. Because people that I meet, people that we connect with, New Jack Kings, anybody that we connect with, my man Usher digital agency. He's out in London. He's our
Digital
social media
agency.
guru. Shout out to
Okay.
Ernest Usher.
Okay.
We our focus is not just what we do musically, but how we help people
How
during
we help people. Yeah. How you help people along the way, like during your journey, right? You know,
gotta
you
be.
know, you said something earlier about like your spiritual walk or blessings, right?
Yeah.
I want to speak on one thing about God. What He'll do, we don't know this, but He will change you. He will interrupt your life. That's what I say. But the way how He'll do it, you will start feeling uncomfortable with certain things you used to do, or things being around certain people, doing things in life. You'll be uncomfortable now, and you don't know why, but it happens. Have you ever said no to a project um, because the content or message wasn't right, and you knew that deep inside you didn't want to do that because it would have been wrong? Then this is the reason why I'm saying God will come to you and change some things. Did you have you ever said no to a project that just wasn't right because of the content or message?
I don't think I ever said no to a project, but the big thing I was saying no
No
to
music.
myself.
Okay. Okay.
I lost my confidence in who I am and my talents and my creativity and my abilities. And when you get there, I went through a depression when the group
Yeah.
broke up.
Yeah.
I was depressed, didn't know about it then.
Okay.
I in some instances I've been successful in doing those things that you do to make a living, have a job, and
Okay.
but in terms of my passion, in terms of my purpose, I didn't, because I didn't believe in myself. And then
Okay.
finally God said, man, this is, do what you do and I'll guide you the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And he truly, I can't tell you like the connections and just how things kind of snowball to where I'm at now, where we're at
Okay.
now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't know, and we're not going to stay on this subject because it can be a long talk when you're talking about God, because I know for sure, but sometimes a lot of people don't know Him. They don't know who God. They don't know Christ. They don't know Him.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
they're following just what they think is right. You're just following that path. You're not following what God gives you. So I understand that. He sometimes He'll slow you down, and He told
Yep.
you go ahead and I'll help you. I'll finish it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
yeah, that's deep, man. It's very deep
I
when it
literally,
comes to that.
went to, I started going, I did, when I was in LA, I did voiceovers. I did
Yeah.
commercials, huge
Yeah.
ones, Toyota, um, Pringles potato
That's
chips,
right. That's right. Yeah.
honeycomb
Hmm.
cereal, Coca-Cola. And because
Hmm.
my man Nitro was like his in-house jingle maker with a lady who had a company in Manhattan. And he
Okay.
just put me on, because at that time, everybody wanted rap in their commercials. And I wanted to get back into it. So I started maybe 5, 6 years ago. I found a school, Ed Studio. I started getting my reels together, and and so all of a sudden I started getting back into that idea of creativity.
Okay.
And from there, literally, I remember working my day job, and my manager was like, "Everybody use LinkedIn." And I didn't know about LinkedIn. I
Yeah.
put, okay, I'll go LinkedIn, and I said, okay, I got all these reels, I got all this stuff, these voices, these
Yeah.
demos. I literally I started scrolling in LinkedIn, and I searched for studios in Maryland. I live in the
Right.
DMV
Right.
area,
Okay. Okay.
and literally there was this company called Total Faith Network.
Okay. Okay.
And I said, hey, here's my demos. This is what I do. I have a picture. I used to be Groove, been in movies. And they connected with me, and they said, hey, we'd love to talk to you. We need to do an interview.
Wow.
And I
Okay.
was like, wow, okay. We film in White Plains, New York. So I'm saying, cool, I'll go up there. We'll do it. So the day, let's say that's Saturday. So then I'm supposed to talk to the host. They had a new
Okay.
host. They were kind of revamping the show.
Yeah.
So that Wednesday, I was supposed to talk to the host and see what he wanted to talk about and whatnot. They end up canceling my interview
Oh, they canceled the interview. Wow.
because they
Okay.
fired the host.
Wow.
And they turned around and asked me, did I want to host the show?
Hmm.
So that's God, because I
That.
didn't know about LinkedIn, and I didn't
Wow.
know about
Wow.
Total Faith Network that's literally in Maryland.
That's right.
And literally, now I'm the host. And because of me hosting, I ended up because now I'm hosting, so now I'm starting to use social media. I'm like, oh, social media. So I'm Facebook, IG. Yeah, I'm here. I'm doing this show.
Yeah, I'm doing my show. That's right.
And I got tapped by now they're called the New Jack Kings. But at the time, B&A Island and DJ Chemo, they did this song, and they were paying homage. The video was going to pay homage to House Party, and they said, "Would you like to be in?" I said, "Yeah, of course. I'd love to be in it." They said they was talking to Bolega Lou and them, and they were going to be in it or talking to. And so I said, "Well, tell me, what's the song?" They sent me the song, and their niche, they are New Jack Swing, literally.
Wow.
New Jack Swing, the stuff that I was, I know Teddy,
I've been Teddy,
that's right. Teddy Riley, God, this is what Uptown was about. So once again, God, you're in your lane now, because this is what I know. This is what we're raised up on.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I love the way you do music. I'd love to do a record with you, because I said I want to just trying to get back and let's dip my toe in the water. So I did the single with them, and then like a week later, they asked me to be their manager.
Wow.
Now, like I said before, I had flashbacks of Uptown, and
flashbacks or something.
Exactly. I'm trying to imagine myself. But and that was one of those moments that at first I was going to say no. God said nah, and so I ended up saying yes. In my heart, I said, okay, let's do it. Not knowing that the song that they had done, they had it's called Daydreaming. And they saw Fat Man Scoop. And Fat Man Scoop, if you pay him some money, he'll do like drops for your song. Like, come listen to B&A Island, DJ Chemo. This is their new song, period.
That's right. Do them drops.
He loved the song so much, he remixed it for free.
Wow.
And put his vocals on it for free. So now they got an icon. These guys, and B&A's from Philly. B&A Island's from Philly. DJ Chemo's from Jersey. These guys, out of nowhere, gets connected with an icon for free, and then he's going to do their video.
All because of the song he heard, and he loved it.
The Daydreaming. Wow. And I told him, I said, y'all don't even understand where you at right now, because we wish we had some. That's like back in the day. That's like us doing a record with I don't know, De La Soul at the time, or maybe Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you understand? You've been co-signed.
Wow.
And once again, that's God.
Once again, he always come through for you. He will.
Amen.
You just got to know that voice. You got to know his voice. Some people don't.
Oh, got to listen.
Yeah. What was the biggest obstacle you had to overcome in your career?
Good question. I could easily say, trying to get your demo heard. It's really about self-doubt. Because if you don't believe in yourself, and like I said, there was a moment that I didn't believe in myself, and I literally stopped doing my passion or working toward my passion. I became an LPN, licensed practical nurse.
Yeah, that's right.
A financial advisor. I think I got my licensing in the same year, literally.
What made you go into that after every?
Because back in the day, I used to work in hospitals.
Okay.
New York, you be a cop, you work in psychiatric centers, or you do crime, or you farm or factories. And so I worked in the hospital, and I saw nurses, the nurses come in, they chilling, they ain't really fighting nobody to give a shot and whatnot. I can do that. So I just went to nursing school, got my LPN license, passed the boards, but at the same time, I was also working at this brokerage house further down. I worked in Queens, brokerage house in Long Island. Trying to learn the art of being a financial advisor and really selling stocks.
Okay.
And so I did that, passed my 7, passed my 63, my 25. And then I moved out from New York to the DMV area. And so I've been working in banks,
banking
for a long period of time.
Are you still doing any of those things now or no?
Yeah, now I focus on small business, minority small businesses. Focus on trying. My goal during my day job is to really help businesses find the resources that they need. COVID showed a lot of.
Oh yeah.
We know the disparities, and we know the uneven playing field. COVID even made it more uneven. Because there's a lot of us businesses, African American businesses, minority businesses of color, that don't even have a business account. checking account.
Right.
So so I focus on that, but I'm also focusing on my passion, literally to the point where this will I'm gonna claim it, call it. This is going to be my last year in banking. Because I'm doing so many different things, with New Jack Kings House Party Experience Tour. I got my own CBD product line. Jumping off, and I'm writing a book. The book is like on the back burner, and I'm working on some sponsorships where I can literally have my guys on tour, through my sponsors. So I don't have to ask nobody. I don't have to beg nobody. My sponsors just write the check. We can go to theater to theater.
Yeah. Where is this house party tour? No, what is called the house party experience
tour. So this was a seed planted in me. Once again, God comes through all the time. Last year, August, my bank sponsored this minority business kind of vending event out in the area, and it was on a Saturday. And I didn't want to go. I was tired. I just didn't feel like it. And at the last one, I said, let me go. It started at 2. I got there at 3, so I didn't really want to be there. So before I left, I stayed there for about 45 minutes. There was these 2 brothers at the door, and I was getting ready to leave. And I looked at them. They were talking and whatnot. And they were talking to another young lady who had a camera and stuff. So I said, "Hey, what do y'all do?" Said, "Oh, we video. We do this. We do that. We got podcasts." Cool. Yeah. And, "Yo, you look familiar. You look like that guy on House Party." So I said, "Well, I am." And we started laughing and whatnot and talking. And they invited me to their podcast. It's called the Pool Table Podcast. And the brother's name is DJ Gotti and OG Hustle, OG Trice. And these are I'm going to say my godsend. They were angels. Because we get to the podcast and we're chilling, we're talking, and that's when I realized and came up with I am the purpose, and then cultivating the we are the purpose. And before I left that night, he put in my ears listen, you still got a lot to offer the culture. That's right. Think about house party experience tour. Wow. And we ended up doing the kickoff in their basement, and it's really about family friendly and fun. The music. The vibe, the pajamas, and we had a pajama jam, but more importantly, it's about how the audience interacts with the songs and music. If you hear a good song, you at a club, you singing, the girls singing, and so imagine you got 50, 60, 70 people singing a Mary J. Blige song, or a Frankie Beverly and Mays song, or a rock song, everybody dancing, or a soul to soul song. And that's what we did. I was the host. My boys, New Jack Kings, they did 1 or 2 of their songs. They just said, and it was in that kind of environment, that kind of energy. I felt it because when you have the whole crowd singing "I'm Going Down" by Mary J. Blige, and all the ladies are singing. And you're talking to them. All right, now talk to me now. What are you saying? And that's a high that you can't replace. And so since that time, we have done spot dates, some theaters and whatnot. But the house party experience tour is going to be on 2 levels: theaters, where it's going to be like the New Jack Kings and Dreamer 369, DJ Gotti, OG Trice and his clique. They're the conglomerate. They're like family. Where we go to 200, 300 seat theaters. Wow, and just go invite your family, invite your friends. It's not cool. Because a lot of people, I love the music that's out now, but a lot of people don't want I'm talking about the 30-year-olds, the 35, 40, the 50, the 55, 60 that's spending money, that wants to see a show that they can dance, have fun. That's the kind of stuff that we do. The national tour is going to be with Kid and Play, Full Force, me hosting, my guys, New Jack King, Dreamer 369, and we incorporate vendors in the area. We talk to other artists in the area, other DJs. That's dope. Really how do we give back to the communities that we're in? So that's how that's going down. That's dope, man. You're putting something like that together because you're still bringing in the community. You bring in the people that love hip hop. That's dope, man. That's important. That's important. We're on a mission. We are the purpose, and if talking to vendors doing business to business, they make money. The vendors make money. They communicate, and the community get flourishes in terms of just having a good time, man. That's what we're doing. Wow, that's decent. Keep it up, man, and keep going because people really want to see that.
This is the house party experience
Yeah.
that that a groove is going to have, and I guess you're going to have tickets and stuff, right, where people can come out.
Yeah, definitely. That
Yeah,
unfortunately it's not a nonprofit organization,
yeah, but
but it's going to be worth your time and your effort
yeah,
and just having a good time and your memories
hmm
because this is like where you're talking VIP. This is where
right,
I'm pulling people on stage and they dance. We doing that house
wow,
party
wow,
dance.
that's right, that's
You
right.
know,
You still got it, man. You still got the dances and all that
yeah,
now, man.
man. I gotta warm up. I use my
hmm
my CBD bomb now to warm up. Before I get busy. But
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
what I do.
The
I'm
good thing about it
actually
is, yeah, you still got it, but
yeah, man. Just take it a little easier now.
yeah, yeah, because after a certain age, even me, I turned 47, so
All right,
sometimes,
all right.
yeah, after like 30, your knees start hurting, and then something else,
Mm, mm,
you just start
mm.
getting broke down. But it's about keeping your body going to exercise and eating right.
That
Drinking a
and
lot.
it's been funny you said that because I literally I've been on this mission, trying to eat better, a little cleaner.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
I used to. My thing was like whiskey, good whiskey and a cigar. Now it's
yeah,
straight up water and a cigar
hmm
because I stopped drinking because I want to be better on that stage, so I
yeah.
can give them the best performances that they need. I'm performing um, shortly in about a week, and I want to make sure that I lost a little weight, keep the weight down, and just do what we got to do to make people happy.
And you will, man. You will. And just like I said, just keep going, man. Don't stop. Just
Thank you.
keep doing what you got to do to make things better. You will.
Definitely,
You know.
definitely.
Do you still listen to, or not listen to? Do you still hear hip hop music on the radio at times? Because we still hear it in Philly, especially on
Every
Saturday
now
nights.
and then, every now and then. But now, it's interesting that my man Chill reached out to me about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago,
Okay,
because streaming is big now.
it is.
So but if you don't put your music in the places that they need to be, it just sits there.
It's just
So
yeah,
that's been that's going to be like kind of my next project once I get my guys in terms of like they have their platform, they have Linktree, and they do their thing. Shout out to New Jack Kings, BNA Island, DJ Chemo,
yeah.
and the fourth member, Ernest Usher.
Okay,
But I plan to really put a focus on those music because to me, it never ends. To me, hip hop music is like an anthem.
okay,
It really is because
yeah,
it speaks about what even then what we were dealing with about
yeah.
people, genres and changing and people not feeling hip hop. You trying to front on it, but you can't because hip hop's here to stay.
It's here to stay, and that's what you said. Hip hop's here to stay. Hip hop music here to stay. That's right. I put that video up when I have a media page. I post the video up there. I mean, it's probably up to like 50,000 right now, man. Views.
Wow,
Yeah, and
wow.
there's a bunch of comments. I mean, a bunch of comments. So yeah, they love it, man. They love Ruby Chill. You're not going anywhere, man.
I
People
love that,
still
man.
love your
I
music.
love that. It's
You
nice
know.
to know that your art and creativity was because at the moment at that time it's like oh nobody loves us, but you kind of find out nah we was feeling it. We was
Yeah,
feeling it.
it was banging. It was banging, man. And before we go, because I know I don't want to keep you too long, but what are some things that people might be surprised to know about groove?
Mm. Hmm. Okay, good question.
Yeah,
Um, hmm. I think the biggest thing I'm a real softy at heart. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
I always want people to win.
okay,
And I will help anybody. Oh, and it's almost like a fault of mine.
wow,
Just because I think especially now because when the group broke up and you're thinking that okay, so I'm touching. I just left Sly Stallone in L.A. at on the set while I'm doing shooting the movie, and I got
okay,
this huge conglomerate of a record company, and now they come with Mary J. Blige and Father
gosh,
MC and
wow,
Jodeci
wow,
and
wow,
all these and Guy, and I'm like I should be able. Somebody should be able to help me to my next spot.
That's right. That's right.
And they did it, you know, and that was my fault. I'm gonna put that on me. So now it's like I try my best. Like I tell people, like, what do you need? Tell me, and whatever I can do. If you're a janitor and want to own the building, I'll find a way to help you. I might not be able to buy the building for you, but definitely put you in a place where you can talk to somebody about buying that building.
Yeah. Yep. It froze. Yep. Your video froze. Justin.
I'm back.
Yeah. It froze for a minute.
All right. I guess you know that's in a nutshell, and that I like hamburgers and French fries.
All right. Well, cool. That's cool, man. I just want to. I really want to thank you, man, for allowing this interview. I reached out to you, and you actually told me, "All right, we're gonna do it. Let's set a date and let's do it." And here you go.
That's how we
kept your word. You kept your word, and now you did an interview with A Vision Media Broadcast, and I thank you so much for that, brother.
I appreciate you, your time, your platform, your company, and now once again, you're part of our conglomerate. So anywhere I can help you move, let me know.
Definitely, I thank you for that, man. Likewise, do the same thing. Same thing here, man. You'll catch me. I was trying to find. Can you give the viewers your Instagram, your Facebook, Instagram, so that way
if you just tap Gene Groove Allen, just write Facebook Allen. Gene Groove Allen, GeneGroove Allen, Gene Groove Allen on Facebook, IG, TikTok, New Jack Kings, because I'm linked to them too. New Jack Kings. I'm gonna do a quick plug. Go to www.grooverelief.com. That's RELEAF, GROOVE, Groove, RELEAF.com. High-end, definitely high-end CBD products. There's a whole world out there that we're talking about. The people that I work with, my friends are the actual manufacturers, so we're not working with third party and slapping my face on it. They do the cooking.
Wow.
But, that's fortunate because when it's about anything else. If you buy garbage, you get garbage.
That's right.
And I'm not putting my name on garbage, so
right.
Definitely check that out. But I appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward, and now I know you're in Philly.
That's right. I'm in Philly.
I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna connect with my man BNA, and I'll bring I'll bring the New Jack Kings on for sure, and they can tell you their story.
Let's do it, man. Real quick, I have to say this. Tell us about the Daryl Mitchell Foundation. Do you still have that going?
Yeah, it was. So the ideology was, because he is such an iconic celebrity in terms of that, but more importantly, he's a good guy, and the foundation was to help bring resources and awareness to people that might not have that voice. And unfortunately, it didn't manifest to what it could have been, because of his schedule and everything like that. And when you run a nonprofit, you got to be at the helm. But when you run a nonprofit about people that really need the resources, you got to be spot on, so and you can't really be in different places at the same time. So it's always been a thought, and he has been an advocate, but just that the foundation, the ideology behind it was incredible, but it just didn't come to gel just because.
Okay, so the foundation is mainly about your brother Chill, man. Well, that's dope, man. Shout out to Chill. You want to give a shout out to the legends, Groove B, Chill, the group.
Yeah, shout out to Chill, shout out to B, my man, my brothers.
That's right. And I really appreciate that, man. I thank you. A Vision Media Broadcast. We have Groove, the legendary Groove from Groove B, Chill on A Vision Media. He said he's going to come. He kept his word. He's here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. One love, baby. We are the purpose.
Yes.
I'm getting those digits.
I'm getting those. That's right.
Check this out. This is Gene Groove Allen talking to you on A Vision Media Broadcast. I'm getting those digits.